Oh, champ, we're live. Are you nervous? I'm a little bit nervous about this one, brother. I can't lie.
Enlighten me, champ. You got some hot takes today?
Maybe. I think there's going to be a discrepancy between viewers and us regarding ratings. And I feel like this loss hurts more than any loss this year. Feels different.
Yeah, I think it was a lot to do with just the way we played the game, Our willingness to not take the game on in the first three quarters was very evident. And then in the fourth quarter, we just rolled the dice and it worked. And unfortunately, we didn't get the comeback. But where was that for the three quarters before that? We're always leaving it too late. So, yeah, we'll see with the discussions today. But, we'll see how we go, champs. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue that Collingwood need to address now. I know we always say after we earn a nice comeback win, we say, "Oh, how good's that? Like we never give up, never say die." But now it's getting a bit monotonous. It's too predictable. We're resting on our laurels up until the fourth quarter because we know we have that extra gear. Now Craig has a massive task, a mental battle with the team to try and teach them and ingrain a consistent brand that is sustainable for four quarters.
Yeah, exactly. Just there to get it from the start. Like I know Fly always, talking about an environment where, it's okay to make mistakes and the willingness to overcome and a mistake, and it's going to happen in footy. But there's something that has to happen pre-game where we come out in the fourth quarter and just fire. We can't let North Melbourne or Essendon, like in the Anzac Day, come out and to a massive lead, and then we have to fight our way back. Like we were lucky Anzac Day to even come back and make that a draw. So can't do that on Friday. Friday's an 8-point game, and we'll get into that a little bit later on into the week. But we get this. Geelong did a great job for us about beating Essendon on Saturday night, which was very good. So we'll see with this 8-point game coming up on Friday, because if we lose, champ, it's very close from about 4th to 13th on the ladder, right? So it's very tight competition.
Brother, if we lose against Essendon, count us out of the top 4, and then I'm concerned about top 8 from there, because as we've spoken about in one of the podcasts, we mentioned the next few fixtures, it's okay, yeah, they're difficult, but after that, the last 4 games, brother, I think we said it's deemed as the most difficult fixture out of any AFL team this season.
Yeah. Champ, just give me 1 second. My fire alarm has been doing my lid in, and it's been beeping. So I'm just going to turn it off, disconnect the battery. Hopefully my house doesn't burn down, but just give me a sec.
You're good. I'm just going to say g'day to some of the listeners. So, Anthony, how you going? What's up, bro? Fuck. Just burning. I'm burning from the weekend still. Quote Krusty. Is that Krusty the Clown, Digsby? What the hell was that? I hope that's a Krusty the Clown reference. Otherwise, I've just smoked that one. There he is. Big man, big game Friday night, lads. Must win. Must win. Shummer. Feel we might lose. No Noble was a big loss. It is. Fuck, that's that, brother. And actually, I just want to do a little plug. Guys, I'm not sure if you've seen, but Pies Footy is implementing a show every Tuesday at 5 p.m. So it's a bit earlier. So if you guys can't watch it at that time, that's fine. You can catch up on it later in the evening or the next day or whenever you like. But we'll be doing that, and we can dive into all these little nitty gritties, the Brazzy Cork, the Noble. How does Collingwood get back on track and change the way we're waiting for the fourth quarter to come around? So that will be a big conversation. So that will be 5 o'clock. So, brother, I actually just want to mention that to you. We'll still be able to do our podcast with Fancast at 7 p.m. tomorrow, because the show will be 5 p.m. every Tuesday.
Easy. I think tomorrow, with the buy in my football, I'll come across and maybe we'll do the review together. Yeah. And then we'll head off to do the Fancast podcast tomorrow night. So it'll be exciting, jam-packed.
Beautiful. Champs, let's get through just a few of these comments, say g'day, and then we'll jump into the pie performers. What do you reckon?
Too easy.
All right, yeah, I'll pop them up. You have your word, brother.
Jim, evening, gentlemen. G'day, mate. How are ya? How's things?
Don't worry
And
about that.
why? Oh, yep. What's the extent of Brazzy's injury? It looks like an upper leg corky. Champ, I haven't actually looked into it too much. Have you seen any news that's come out yet?
I reckon we'll know more tomorrow just because we're only a couple of days removed. I reckon tomorrow we'll be able to talk about that in the show.
Yeah. What up, guys? Not too bad,
Every
mate.
game. Hey, we got Pommy in the chat. Pommy, we're
Pommy.
just talking about you off stream. We were just talking about you off stream before the show started. And we were just talking how you're so unhinged and you say what you think is on your mind. And your analogies, mate, they're fucking unrivaled. So I apologize in advance if you have to put yourself through some of our botched analogies tonight. We're not quite to the level where you are. And I think that English sort of that
The
blood
English
in you,
charm.
it's not in us. It's not in us. We try our best, but yeah, it's no Pommy in Oz. Here we go. Hey, Kev, how you going, mate? I saw you. I jumped in for your stream a little bit post our game. I did have a look. I don't get to see your face now. I see you put the scoreboard, but I don't get to see your face on the streams, Kev. Penny Parsons in breaking news: a house fire in Melbourne, brother.
Look, hopefully not. I don't know why I've got a fire alarm in the spare room, but I do, and it's beeping. So
yeah, that's it.
Have to risk it for the podcast.
Yeah. Pommy comes in peace. He has issues. Maybe as we get older, Pommy, maybe we become a little bit more loose with what we want to say. We're getting there. Caleb's a little bit looser. I have to tame him sometimes, but I think at some point we're gonna have to let ourselves go a little bit. But we'll get there. But
Exactly.
And this rating show is. We like to think our rating show is good, but the graphics and the way you're able to articulate some of the statistics that you've put for your Carlton lads, again, it's not something I'm trying to compete with because it's just on a whole nother fucking level.
Yeah, the foot like ultimate team styled graphics. I was watching earlier today, Pommy. Unreal. It's really good, really nice touch.
Might I think of the team of the week's brother on for the Collingwood ones, the black and gold team of the week cards.
Yeah, love it.
Mick, how you going, mate? All right. We got 21 in the chat. We may as well get going. T Mello, how you going?
Hey mate, how are you?
Let's get it going. Let's start, brother. Let's start with the hot topic on the tip of everybody's tongue over the last few days, and it's your man, our skipper,
Pendles.
close but no cigar.
Nah. Darcy Moore. Well, boys, what do we start? I'll start off with the stat line. 11 disposals, 7 of those were intercept possessions, 1 intercept mark, 4 pressure acts, right? The positive from Darcy Moore from the weekend, well, I think we can call him, if he was a UFC fighter, call him Darcy the Organ Taker Moore. All right. He seems to have a knack to just take out, drive his knee. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's hitting the UFC bags, the punching bags, and driving that knee. He's been taking players out. I like that. That's pretty much all I can say for the game thus far. All right. The rest of his game wasn't too good, boys. And I think we've seen that from Anthony's video and, Kane Corns as well in the mainstream media. Grilling him, right? So where do we start? He has a tendency to leave his man when he doesn't need to. All right. There could be a little bit of the factor of the Nathan Murphy thing you leaned into earlier today. Maybe he's not as reliable as a backline we've had. We've had a lot of chop and changes, a lot of young players. That's definitely a factor. Could it also be he's feeling the pressure of being the captain, especially this year, with an inexperienced defense and having to think he has to impact the play at all times? Maybe that's a factor to do with it as well, right? So he leaves his man when he doesn't need to, and it results in goals scored against him. And it's happening way too frequently. He's only taken the 1 intercept mark over the last 2 games we've played. So only one was on the weekend, none against North Melbourne, which is very unlike him. Last year, he averaged about 3.5 intercept marks. This year, he's dropped to 2.5. We have seen his spoils numbers increase, but his 2022 year, his intercept marks were still hovering around 3, whereas this year, he's having a career high intercept marks, but his intercept marks have dropped. So what does that highlight? He's not impacting the game as much as he had. You know, he's doing double fist spoils. Maybe in the past we'd be taking that out of the air. We really do need him to lift. He's our captain. And I'm going to give him, champ, a 2.5 out of 10 because we need him out there, impacting the play, leading by example, showing the boys that what are the standards with a chopping and changing side each week. And to the ability to leave his man and resulting in direct goals against us is really hurting us, especially in a close game like it was on the weekend.
Yeah, mate, I think 2.5 is kind, and I agree. I can't give him anything more than that. That's for sure. And I just want to add to that, champs. You say he's averaging a career high 9 spoils per game, but we also mentioned that maybe that's because the marks that he was taking in years previous, he's now spoiling. Like Caleb said, I think it was in the first quarter, he double fisted a aerial contest where he could have probably swallowed that ball and rebounded it. And then, brother, I also mentioned in the video I made today that he's got a good kicking technique. It's unique, if you want to call it, the fucking, we'll call it the eagle, where he's got 2 hands far and wide when the ball hits his foot. But his decision making at times is suspect when it comes to his distribution going from D50 to forward 50. And when we're lacking players with the ability to move the ball from our defensive half, particularly, brother, when we've got Jeremy House swinging forward, John Noble's up and down, Nick Dacos and Jack Crisp are not on a half-back flank anymore. You almost need, yes, Darcy Moore's role first and foremost is to be an interceptor, but you almost need him to be able to use the ball well. Brother, answer me this. When I see Darcy Moore with ball in hand, I get nervous. How do you feel?
Yeah, he does have a tendency just to boot the ball long. And sometimes that works to our favor. But one thing I actually get the most nervous about is his handballing. His handballing, he always seems to just overdrive the footy, and it results in a lot of turnovers that way. I think that's another thing that, besides him going too quick in his decision making, sometimes it's him actually handballing the ball as well, where he's, the guy's only 2 meters, 3 meters away from him, and he's driving the thing like it's got a fucking vendetta against himself. So I think that's another factor from the organ taker. I'm coining that, by the way. Darcy, the organ taker, more.
So who's he taken down so far, brother? Tell us.
Fuck, who did he take out in North again, boys?
No, it was against the Demons. Track.
Yeah. Petrarca. Took out Petrarca. Which, the boys in my local footy team were calling me Petrarca on the weekend because they thought I had a cracked rib, but we were fine, boys. And then obviously on the weekend as well. So it was good.
And so you got Jared Witts as well. So he's 2-0. He's 2-0. That's his WrestleMania. He's undefeated. It's probably the only realm that he's undefeated in this year. So, and I think, brother, that handball, there was one handball against North Melbourne late in the game where he overhand passed it beyond Noble's head, and that resulted in a goal or a near goal. So not looking good for the man. Not looking good for the man, and lots of head scratching around what we can do or what he can do for us moving forward. But yeah, 2.5. Let's move on. Let me take my captain, the people's champ. SP10. Mr. Soon to be 400. Mr. Soon to have a documentary on the week that he plays his 400th, guys. I'm calling it now. So, first game back after that bicep injury. They say it happened on the footy field. I would argue it happened in the gym, but it's they keep it under the carpet. Who knows? So, he looked a bit slow in transition, along with the rest of the mids, the Nick Dacoses, the Jordan De Goes. I thought maybe not slow, but not accountable enough. The mentality of somebody else is going to do it for him and the next person. In that last sequence, and brother, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to watch it back, and guys in the chat if you want to add to it, but that kick from Gold Coast D50 into the middle where the player took on Scott had an opportunity to try and wrap him up with 2 arms. Instead, he's nursed his left bicep and tried to tackle like that, which is very unconventional and led to that shot outside 50 from Ben Long. So we're talking moments that matter in the game. That is a moment, obviously, that matters. And I'm being mindful, champs, because he is coming back from, 4 or 5 weeks out, around that mark. He had a pretty high IQ moment early in the game where he knocked it on to Billy, who then hand passed it to Hoskin Elliott for a goal. He finishes with 18 touches, 55% disposal efficiency for the game, which is well below his career average, which is 75%. I'm going to give Scott Pendlebury a 5 out of 10. Harsh, but I have high standards for the man. High standards.
Yeah, I know the exact play because we did debate it at the time about the tackle that ended up in that Ben Long goal. So, yeah, that wasn't ideal. We did have a couple good moments. Cham did score that nice goal from the Maynard kick into the middle, which was good. And just that composure, I still like the composure of that. You know, he tried to kick inside 50. No one was there. Then burst through and then ran a little bit wider and ended up slotting the goal. So that was nice to see. I would say because he's coming back from injury, a 6 out of 10. But I understand we got to expect high standards from him. So, champ, a 5 out of 10. Let's just lock it in.
Let's go 5.5. I'm happy with 5.5. Yeah. 5.5 for the man. Brother, who would you like next?
Let's give us. We'll stay with the defender theme. We'll go with who are we going to go with, champ? We'll go with Brazzy.
Going with some favorites early, huh?
Yeah. Well, sticking on brand. So Maynard, 13 disposals, 4 intercept possessions, 1 intercept mark. What was really good to see from Maynard was his meters gained was at 552 meters gained for the game. But the thing that I really liked about him was in the second quarter and the third quarter, the biggest thing about Collingwood was we're moving the ball too slow and we were just going long down the line. We weren't spacing the ground and trying to make it as wide as possible. So when we did go long down the line, if we had to, there was a lot of players there, right? What I did like about Maynard, probably from the third quarter to the fourth quarter, was his willingness to take on the game and hit targets inside the middle of the ground. We just alluded to before the Scott Pendlebury goal where Maynard was able to kick the ball into the center and then that sliced open the game. It was a 50-50 kick, but we ended up getting onto that and it ended up resulting into a goal. And you need players like that with big balls to take on the game, because if we didn't, the lead wasn't, we weren't going to cut back. We still lost at the end of the day, but at least we went down swinging, right? And it's better late than never, right? So I really like that. He battled through the game, you know, copped a lot of hard knocks, you know, ended up hurting his quad, but his fourth term efforts, like it goes every week that he's an absolute bull. His first effort, second, third. I love that part about Maynard. You expect that every week. And really, really, I rate that so highly as a player. So, champ, call me crazy. Because of the fourth quarter efforts and factor in his willingness to take on the game, I've given him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. His role is to defend, and he does that to a T. His efforts, the intangibles, and when we were begging for someone to take the game on with the ball in hand, he was that guy. He is that guy. He's got like some big balls. He carries them heavy, and he bleeds black and white. And as Mick says here, Brazzy and Nick Dacos are the two linchpins for us in these uncertain times. They are the true barometers for us right now, and I'm more than happy to give Braden Maynard an 8 out of 10, brother.
Lock it in.
Very happy with that. Lock it in, Eddie. Let's go with our favorite lock for 2 goals every game. Checkers. So, what do I got for Brody? He kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. I go, fuck, this guy, he might kick more than 2 goals this game. He might get 6 the way he's tracking, the way he's trending. And I felt like he almost went missing throughout the duration of the game. And he gets the sort of same leniency that Pendles gets, in the sense that he was coming back from a recurring hamstring injury. And for him to get through the game is a pass in itself. So that's the baseline already. Like straight away, he got through the game. overcame recurring hamstring injuries, which is a big mental battle. I'd say, yeah, definitely a 6 at the baseline. But like I said, he did go missing for the most part of the game. I will give him Brody Myercheck, given the circumstances. I'm gonna give him, what have I got here? I have him as a 6, but I want to give him a 6.6 just because of the way it was be able to overcome and get through the game and kick some goals early and give ourselves a chance to stay within the game early as well.
Yeah, he did go missing, champ. You didn't really see him, especially because I missed the first quarter. I didn't really see him out there. He did present very well, nicely up the ground. So, hey, Benny, none of that, none of that, mate, none of that. But look, 6.6. We'll lock that in as a 6.6. I didn't really like his goal, the way he jumped back and dribble kicked it through. That was a nice touch. So look,
That was clean.
6.6, coming back from hamstring injury, gave us a little something. So yeah, let's go 6.6.
Yeah. Seems like I'm around the mark. People are closer to a 6, but I just think, I think Fly put the Collingwood in a precarious position with 6 changes, which is a bit superfluous given the context of our season. So that's why I'm being a little bit generous with your Myerchecks, with your Pendles, and with your DeGoey's. So 6.6 for Mr. Checkers. And who would you like next, my friend?
Let's go into. We'll go into Sullivan.
Sully.
Well, Sully, the man who I'm kind of wondering why he was put into the side, but we'll discuss it in a second. He had 9 disposals for the game. 6 of those were handballs. 3 of those were kicks. Very on brand for Sullivan. He ran that at 33% disposal efficiency, so quite poor. And he also attended 23 centre bounce attendances. All right. So, he's been probably averaging around 26%. We've got the likes of DeGoey back. We're going to get more players back. In a game where Gold Coast defenders are quite tall, you've got your Collins, your Mac Andrews. You need someone in there who's a little bit taller. So I would have expected Reef McInnes, who's averaging close to 2 goals a game, to get the start over Sullivan. And I think next week he needs to start instead of Sullivan. I think he gets into the VFL. I think we've tried it. Unfortunately for Sullivan, I just don't think he's got the ability to be a burst player. Like, he can't burst out of packs. He's just really an inside mid. And if we're going with inside mids, why don't we get a Ned Longin when he's available? Potentially, if we do need a midfielder who is a 6'4", really good inside mid. Or if you want someone to come pinch it in the mid, you alluded to before, champs, Reef McInnes, 2 goals, and then he also was drafted as a midfielder. So you can always trial that. I would like to see if someone's going to end up playing at least 80% of their time in a high half-forward role, just get Reef in. A little bit of a tangent, but I don't want to see him in the side next week. And I've rated him a 2 out of 10, champ. 33% disposal efficiency. When you've only kicked the ball 3 times and you've handballed it 6 times, that's pretty shit disposal efficiency. So I've given him a 2 out of 10.
Yeah. It's a rugged performance by Mr. Sullivan. That disposal efficiency is horrid and maybe playing in a role that he isn't typically accustomed to. So again, just another selection dilemma. Bad decision, if you'd want to call it that, regarding Fly's decision to play Sullivan in the forward, especially like I said, with the options that he has. So what'd you say, brother? 3 out of 10?
2.
Yep, fair. Cool. 2 out of 10. Lock it in. Done.
Yeah. And just on in regards to selections, we're starting to see that a little bit more. Last year we were so healthy that you didn't really see these selection. Whereas, like, I'm still scratching my head at when with the Western Bulldogs game with Charlie Dean having to match up on Sam Darcy, which was getting killed for the majority of the game. Sam Darcy's 6'8", Charlie Dean's 6'4". And he was just getting mangled. And then Frampton doesn't get swinged back in that game. So we're starting to see that creep in a little bit more and more each week with all the injuries. So it's just something that we didn't see last year that we're seeing a lot more this year.
Yeah. The man.
That's a better photo, champ.
Yeah. Mr. IQ, Mr. 100. Thought he played okay. A lot of people are speaking bad things of this man, saying he's out of form, he's not the same man he was last year. But I'm going to stick fat by this guy just because I don't see Isaac Quaynor necessarily being beaten in contests like a Billy Frampton is. So I'm still Q's still on my good side. He had 15 touches, 6 tackles, an intercept mark. Maybe was he at fault for that goal in the goal square where there was a couple hot hand passes there? I'd call it a miscommunication, so I don't want to be too, I guess, critical on that. I'm going to give IQ a pass mark for us, and that is a 6 out of 10 for those who are new to the show. 6 out of 10 is considered a pass mark, and I think early on as well, he had some early touches to get the game going very early. So I'm comfortable with a 6 out of 10, brother.
Yeah, I'll back that. 6 out of 10. And in regards to your topic where he did touch the ball from that handball, I think it was Markov who's behind him. And in a game, if you're reading the ball and someone's rocketed a handball to you, your first instinct is always to get to the ball unless someone's behind you talking to you to leave it. And we're not at the ground, but we would assume maybe Markov didn't use his voice where he could have there. So, yeah, wouldn't really blame me for that goal. But yeah, 6 out of 10 seems reasonable.
Yeah. I'm not willing to talk bad about the man just yet, anyways. So, brother, what have you got?
Yeah,
who have you got?
Give us someone who replaced Sully on the weekend. Give us Joe Richards.
Now, I do have a graphic for the man this time around. I'm not going to put up Will Parker just because he's a lookalike. I did come in well prepared for the show. I do have Joe Richards.
All right, champ. So the former teacher, 6 disposals, 5 kicks, 1 handball, 2 inside 50s. The key one here is out of his 6 disposals, champ, 1 of those led to a goal assist. 5 of those were score involvements. So pretty much every time he got the ball, it resulted into a Collingwood goal. We said it on stream that he comes on and he just gave us something. He gave us that little spark, right? That we really didn't get, we didn't see with Sullivan on the ground. He got up the ground, put pressure. He ended up getting 16 pressure acts from the game. And considering he didn't have a full game, and
Joe Richards 16 pressure acts in 36% game time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And which was really good. Really good. Sorry, my bad, champ. 7 pressure acts. Sorry, I misread that.
Okay.
7 pressure acts, still providing us a lot of ability defensively and offensively. I've given him an 8 out of 10.
I rate it. Fuck, he looks confident with the ball and he's good on both sides of the body, which is not common these days. People love their check side kicks. I think he couldn't put a foot wrong on Saturday. And so 8 out of 10. I think nobody here is going to have issues with him being an 8 out of 10. And I think people are going to have big issues if he's not starting on Friday, which he'd be paying $1.01 to be starting against Essendon. So that's that. Let's go.
Last time we made that prediction, champ, we were wrong. I said $1.01 for Kruger to start against the Bulldogs. He didn't start. So hopefully we break that curve. Yeah, exactly right.
I'm pretty confident with this one, brother. But
me too.
John Noble. What have I got for you, my friend? I felt like he tried his best. Few link up, 17 touches, just the 2 score involvements, 1 intercept mark. When he first came into the squad, he played like his slot in the team was on the line, getting his 20, 25, 30 touches. You look at the Brisbane game, you look at the Hawthorn game, you look at the Adelaide game, in his milestone game, he was unreal. He's steadily dropping off. And this is my concern, right? This is not what we want from John Noble leading into the final series, because he's in again an ominous position where Fly's looking to chop some heads off the board, and Noble could be there. But the only thing I think that's saving Noble from not playing the final series, if his form continues to decline, is the fact that we don't really have anyone who can play his role as well as he's doing it at the moment. So and he got knocked out, or concussed, so he's out against Essendon, which is going to be we can maybe talk about that tomorrow as well, because if we were short on players who are able to break off the half back line, we're going to be even shorter on Friday night without him. But for the game against Gold Coast, I'm giving John Noble a 5.5 out of 10. So not a pass, just beneath the threshold.
Yeah, I'll back that, champ. I'll back that.
Beauty. What's everyone else saying? 5.7, 5.9. Didn't notice him much. 5. The Rolls Royce will cruise us into the finals. We're the most concussed team in the competition. And you know what, Mick? We've probably got the most concussed media consumers that follow the team in Caleb and I. Although we probably don't have many concussions between us, but we just have really bad memory retention or recollection at times. So maybe it's a trend in the Collingwood theme.
Leading to actually concussions, I did read.
Sorry, what did you say, brother? What did you say before?
Like regarding concussions, you funny cunt. regarding concussions, I think Carmichael's done, boys. He's leading. I read an article in the Herald Sun today. He's going to go get assessed again with a board. In regards to some doctors and some boards, and we'll find out a result. So doesn't look likely. I think he'll end up being like a Nathan Murphy, and we don't get to see his full potential there.
It's a shame, and maybe we can reserve some more time for that tomorrow as well, because that's obviously big news, unfortunate news as well. Champs, who do you want next?
Give us Kruger.
Freddie?
Yep. Europe.
There he is.
The man. Well, 7 disposals for the man. 4 scoring involvements, 3 tackles for the game. He attended 16% of the centre bounces on the weekend. So he had to pinch hit when Darcy Cameron wasn't racking, and we saw that. So, look, the positives for Kruger on the weekend was the 4 scoring involvements and his inside 50 tackles. So that's a big positive. He's averaging now is 2 tackles in inside 50, which is still very good. All right. If prior to the game, it was 2.5, would make him the best in the league for inside tackles for his key forward position. So that's the positive. The negative is, and we kind of alluded to when we were making the side, was maybe I was a little bit too overzealous to say he could do a good job rucking in the pinch hit. I think Darcy Cameron was about 84% of the centre bounce sentences, right? So on the weekend, Kruger's been averaging 25% win rate just on a hit out, right? In comparison, Darcy Cameron, champ, is 42.3%. So he wins that 42% of the time. But Coxie, when he's in there, is 50%. So he'll win it a tap 1 every 2 times, right? So that kind of goes understanding. I actually didn't think it was that high, but it is. So if Kruger is to play, and another factor was the Western Bulldogs game, Fly said his concern with Kruger was his fitness. And in the 4th quarter, Kruger was fucking blowing. Like, I don't think he's got the running capacity just yet to really play as a pinch hit ruck type of role. It looked like he was really tight. Like that last 4th quarter, champ, his jaw might have been like the mask, man. It might have been all the way onto the ground. He was that desperate for air. All right. He also, as much as I do like him, he had that absolute NPC moment in the 3rd quarter, right where the siren went, where he just decided, it's like his controller died. He forgot there was 15 seconds left in the quarter and just took his full time. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know why Anthony's frozen, but I'm going to keep going with it. But absolute NPC moment. So I've given the man a 4 out of 10.
Damn. There's a lot to unpack there, so let's go back there for a second. So Mason Cox 50% is good. I was aware that he has some really, not only does he win the taps, he does have some really good hit spots and has actually created some really good scoring launches from those contests. I guess if we look at it from like a reductionist perspective, yes, obviously Cox is going to give you more there, but you can probably make the argument, playing devil's advocate, you probably make the argument that Kruger, once the ball hits the deck, more so when he has the capacity to run around the stoppages and the ruck contests, that's when maybe Kruger's ground ball contest in the ruck contest is going to, obviously he'll thrive with that. But right now he's lacking the engine. I think when you look at Kruger's package versus Cox's package, I'm still on the end of the fact that I would still opt for a Kruger going into the final series, but I think maybe time will tell a bit more about that story. Did you say 4 out of 10, brother?
Yeah, I said 4 out of 10 champs. But that being said, in the final series with Coxie in, I'd rather have them both in the side where we see Kruger just play full forward as a key forward for us.
Mixed
and then Coxie comes in and rucks, and then as a secondary ruckman, and then also gives us a little bit something in the forward line. So look, we've talked about it. We're going to have to dedicate to what does a full Collingwood side look like, so I can actually visualize how does McStay, how does our small forward setup, which is probably best in the league, how does that all fit into the side? But yeah, that's what I envision at the moment with no McStay available. But we'll see once the McStay comes available.
Yeah. Okay, Freddie Kruger, 4 out of 10. Look, I'd love to see him get a 5. I thought he battled, kicked the clutch goal. Can you give me 5 or no?
Did you see his controller died? He just fucking off with the fairies, mate. Like, I don't know. Look, we'll split the diff. We'll go 4.5.
All right, 4.5. I don't love it, but I think a few people agree with you in the chat, so I'm not gonna argue that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Steele side bottom. I thought he was quite poor in critical moments with ball in hand. Going inside 50 early in the game, he had a really good opportunity to hit a target, which we've come to know. Side is well accustomed and has the skill set to hit those targets. This year is a completely different story. He has been very sloppy going inside 50. And champs, you might remember late in the game, he's darting through the middle. And yes, while there wasn't great options inside 50, he decides to hand pass it sideways where there's a bunch of traffic, which resulted in a direct turnover, may have resulted in a goal, or at least an inside 50 for Gold Coast. We would have preferred to have seen him, at least if it's going to be a turnover, fucking kick it into the inside 50. If it's a 1-on-2, it's a 1-on-2, so be it. I'd rather that than trying to hit a sideways hand pass that really is just as risky or riskier than going inside 50. So that was poor and disappointing from an experienced head. And this is someone who I really want to see turn the corner. He has one good game every 4-5 weeks this year, which is not going to be enough going into the final series. I don't have him in my best 22 going into the final series at the moment. Even before the Gold Coast game, he had 56% disposal efficiencies. And brother, he had 5 inside 50s for just 2 scoring involvements. That's not it. Like, if you're kicking the ball inside 55 times, you'd want to hope you're going to get a good return when still side bottom is kicking it going inside 50. And that it's not even a goal assist, just 2 score involvements. And I don't even know if those 2 score involvements were from those kicks that he put inside 50. So for that, brother, I'm giving Sidey, and I think I'm being a bit lenient here. I'm giving him a 4 out of 10. What's the comment saying? Let me check the comments.
There's a few 3s, 3.5s, 4 champs, a 4.1 in there. So look, a 4 seems kind of on brand. Couple of 3s actually. So I feel like that was a good analysis. And, you could always back Sidey in, his effort he puts it in running wise, which he's still got a large running capacity. But another thing was his decision making and his disposal efficiency, which was quite good in the past. And now he's just kind of making poorer decisions. So and it's evident in the game. So yeah, I think a 4 is reasonable. You could probably argue with the people saying a little bit
I'm
lower.
going to give him a 3.
We're going, oh, okay.
Fuck it off. I'm giving him a 3.
And
had
the
enough.
fact is, we said it in the post game, Mick saying it in the comments, you can't be having one good game every 4 weeks, especially what we need to do to lock up a 4th position or still make finals, because there's a possibility we don't make finals.
Yep.
And you want everyone firing. So that's a big factor to do with it as well. If he gets picked into the final 22 in finals, you don't want to be having these sort of games.
Yep. So I think the 3 out of 10 is warranted once that's all factored in. Brother, who have we got?
Give us a Howie.
I'm intrigued to see which way you go with this one.
Yeah. Look, where do I start? I leave the game after the watch along, head into the pub for a feed afterwards. I thought, damn, Howe had a good game. But a lot of my memory of Howe having a good game, like a really good game, was him playing into the forward line. And I think that kind of overshadowed some of the mistakes he made going into when he was playing defense, especially in the first half. He made a bad turnover in the first quarter, which resulted into a goal. In the third quarter, he also got caught holding one of the Gold Coast forwards, and that gives away. And he had Saidi right in front of him, which resulted into a goal.
Late in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about third quarter where they were starting to really pull away from us. They were the kind of negatives. The positive is the Dacos Howe connection is real. He ended up 19 disposals, the 1 goal, 7 score involvements. So that kind of equals him out where, he finished the game quite well into the forward line, but in the defense side, he wasn't as good. I've got him down as a 6.8 champ.
2 intercept marks? Question mark?
2 intercept marks as well. Yeah, yep. I still gave him a 6.8.
6.8. Would love to see him 4 quarters up 4, but the team needs him back because Moore is in La La Land. Yeah, exactly. 6 for Howe. As bad as he was defensively, wasn't the worst of the other 2 tall that back. Jeremy Howe, 6.8. But I do love his adaptability when it comes to being able to play on both sides of the field when needed. To be able to go for any brother, you know how hard it is at times when you're asked you're accustomed to playing in the back line, and coach goes, "Hey mate, we need you in the forward line. We need you to have immediate impact." He does that so well, where other players in the league wouldn't be able to adjust as quickly as Jeremy Howe possibly could.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's a bit hard to adjust to that because as a defender, you're kind of following your man around and then trying to read the play off that. Whereas when you swing to the forward line, you lead the big dance and your running patterns change. And to be able to adapt to that and just flick on the switch is a very underrated skill. And it just proves he's an ultimate utility player.
Yep, 100%. All right, 6.8. Fair enough. Okay, moving on to Bobby Hill. God, didn't this guy have an almost game while still having really, really impressive moments throughout that game against Gold Coast? We're looking at 3 goal assists throughout the game, which is a really good return for a goal from a goal assist standpoint. He's really added that string to his bow this year. I think he averaged 0.5 goal assists last year. Brother, he'd be averaging over 1 at this point. What else? He had 5 shots on goal just for the 1 goal, which is what's going to hurt his rating here. He could have kicked 5. He was a bit fumbly, dropped a couple marks. The ball didn't bounce his way sometimes. But I just love also that he takes the game on. Like he's always looking to do something and he's not afraid of the moment. And maybe that comes from like the final series performance he had last season. And it's clearly shown this year. 3 inside 50s. He had 14 disposals and 12 of them were kicks, which is, I love that because that's just indicative of him, brother, just saying, no, I'm not going to waste my possession. Handball, why would I hand pass it if I rate myself as one of the most damaging kicks going inside 50 or finding the next player who'll kick that goal, unless that next hand pass is completely obvious. For all those reasons considered, brother, I'm going to go And without looking at the comments, I'm saying a 7 out of 10. Because I think it was a good game, brother, but he really could have had a Nick Dacos out of 10.
Oh, champ, that a 7 out of 10?
Is that, tell me, you're going to say that's harsh, right?
I'll probably had him lower than that, to be honest. Look, the only reason why I say that is because of the almost moments that we needed him to really attack the game and lead us to that comeback win. I'm not going to die on the hill of it. You could argue, that slider kick that he attempted was a bit frank. Probably could have handballed that if he was going that short. But yeah, look, you do have to give him the fact that he is attacking the ball with a lot of intent and a lot of those bounces, but he was a little bit more fumbly than normal. Look, we'll settle with it with a 7, but my initial thought was probably just a pass mark at a 6. But yeah, let's lock it in at a 7 then, champ.
Look, I know we've said it many times before. 1 goal a game from Bobby Hill is probably not enough, but 3 goal assists as well. Fuck, that's got to count towards something. Let's see what's going on here. 7.8. He could have had 11. 7.9. Marty's a little bit behind in the stream. That's okay. Bobby Hill 6.9. He's a little bit showy. The slider kick, brother, as we mentioned, as George mentioned here. There's probably a time and place for that slider kick. That kick where it's literally like you're trying to kick it at a right angle. Maybe just use your fucking left foot, but that's just me. Yeah. Bobby 7. All right, we'll live with the 7. It seems like the 7 seems around the mark. Brother, who have you got next?
Champ, I'm running out of players, so why don't you do another one, and then, we'll keep it so that at the end of the show you're not just doing 3.
Oh, got you. So next up for me is Harvey Harrison. On top of his North Melbourne game, this is another quiet game relative to how he started this season since he's been reintroduced to the team. Obviously playing 4 games last year. This year he's already doubled that, which is great. I think there was a moment where and it may have been that same sequence with Quaynor and Markov, I think it was actually, where he received the ball pretty cleanly, didn't fumble, but then that hand pass, whether you overcooked it or like I said, there was a bit of a miscommunication. One of the boys thought it was their ball, but it was the other. I think all those players had a role in there where that mistake sort of came to fruition. And I do hold some sort of account to Harvey for that as well. 9 touches, 55% disposal efficiency is too low for a winger because we want our outside ball users to be sitting. The wingers in particular, from what I've seen around the grounds, we're looking at 70 to 75% disposal efficiency for a winger who is clean with the ball. He had 5. That's Saudi. What else have we got? Subpar game, limited impact. He has a good reserve of brownie points for what he's done with his goals and kicking goals in critical moments and clean with the ball at times when the ball is at ground ball level. I'm still giving him a 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think you're on the money. The way you were talking, I thought you were going to give him like just under a pass mark. But yeah, I think he was quiet on the weekend, and he wasn't really the Harvey Harrison we've come to expect. So yeah, I think a 4.5, maybe even a 4 is reasonable. But yeah, 4.5. Let's go.
All right, sweet, brother. I'm just on a roll at the moment. Do you mind if I just hit you guys with one more? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, because I've been saving this one, and I think now's the time to release the hounds, man.
I know you're gonna pop up. Jeez,
guys, if there's one person you'd want to stick around for, it's this guy, because fuck me, we've got a problem on our hands, and it's bigger than Darcy Moore. It's Billy Frampton. Billy Frankton, as he's known within the inner sanctum of the boys.
Or the Pies footy.
The Pies footy lads. So, I counted, brother, rewatching the most part of the game. I could account 8 goals that were almost a direct result of Frampton's inability to either hold the ball in a contest, a poor spoil, slow to the drop zone of the flight of the ball, or just being beaten in a contest, right? I
Do you
didn't
want to talk
realize
about
how
and he's out of position? Did you see him against Ben King's first goal? So fucking out of position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he was in the goal square. Ben King had let out about 10 meters and it went straight to him, and he's still in the goal square. You know what I mean?
and then you wonder why Darcy Moore is fucking scrambling across to cover blokes like Billy Frampton, because he has no trust in this guy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
Like,
there's been
yeah. Sorry, Champ. I'm just like at the game. I'm like, oh, he didn't play like he played bad, but I didn't think he played that bad. And then rewatching like the mini, the 18-minute clip, I was like, holy shit. He actually, a lot of the goals that we were copying was resulted because of him.
Yep. And it's just, he's held his own. He's battled with losing moments in games against Max King. He's battled against Carlton. He had some good moments, but he has really bad moments. He's prone to a Frank moment. And we can't have Frank moments in a team that comprises of Franks like Darcy Moore and Franks like Charlie Dean when he's in there. And I think Charlie Dean's probably got a little bit more leeway. I think there's more potential there. I think we've really seen the best and worst in Billy Frampton, and I've seen enough with the sample size. I'm giving Billy Frampton the first ever donut. I'm
donut.
A fucking
Holy shit!
0 out of 10, and I think he needs to be dropped. I know we need his height, but we may as well have a fucking pole standing there instead of Billy Frampton on Friday night against Peter Wright. Fuck him off.
Oh, that's outrageous. A 0.
Fuck it off,
It
man.
was a shocker. It was a shocker. I don't know who do we pick, but like who's gonna play on 2-meter Peter? Who?
Put fucking Ash Johnson on him. I don't care.
All right, you get a big dog and give him a 0, Champ. Give him a 0. Fuck it.
Fucking hey, throw that fucking medal into the fucking Yarra River, man. Fuck's sake, man.
Oh,
2 touches
God.
against Harris Andrews. Fuck it off.
Yeah. Oh, that is bizarre. All right.
Lily's just walked in and she's just whispered enough swearing. She's like, "Who are you?"
We'll go on a positive here. We'll go to Jordan De Goey with a 0 out of 10. But yeah, let's go Jordan De Goey. All right, well, a bit of the rock stance there, champ. But let's go into it. Look, good comeback game from the guy on the weekend. 21 disposals, 463 meters gain, right at 76% disposal efficiency, which is really good to see. He also had 2 goals, which was good. 11 scoring involvements. Didn't really play in the midfield that first quarter. Things weren't really going our way. We broke the glass. Hey, De Goey, we're going to need you in the middle. Provide us with something. Ended up playing 23% of his time in the midfield, which was good to see. It was good to see. Sorry, not 23, 39%. Sorry, champs. 39%. So that was good to see. And it was good to see that he's come back with that abdomen problem and still look so explosive. Like, he's still bursting out of packs. Just every time the ball was there to win a ground ball get, he got it. And just his ability to shrug at tackles, it was really understated. And a lot of the time when you're bursting out of a tackle, it's a lot to do with your core and your core strength. So maybe the abdomen problem is fixed. He also scored, champ, that beauty goal on the boundary in the 4th quarter. It was great to see. I've given the man an 8 out of 10 for the game. Could even argue an 8 and a 8.5 because we've given guys like Checkers and who came back from injury again? I'm just pulling the play. And Pendles, we gave him a little bit of leadency. So maybe we could even upgrade that to an 8.5, but I'm firm on an 8.
Okay. I don't mind it. And I love the game. I love the aura he has. This energy, man. Like, you just see him around the ball and you know he's going to do something with it. And you can tell people fear him around the contest. My only thing with Jordan De Goey is his kryptonite for the longest time and forever will be his. I want to call it his engine, but I feel like his focus and attentiveness in transition throughout the middle can be a bit lackadaisical sometimes, and it hurts us. And I've put clips up in the past, brother. You've seen on Instagram with the reels where he's walking at times. I saw that a little bit, but I guess the caveat is that it is his first game back from injury, and even before his injury, he wasn't playing in the midfield. So I'm mindful of that. If he can get that right, he could be a player where he is the best player every game he plays in that falls within the home and away season. And that's probably the difference between brother. Like, let's be honest, you're never going to see Jordan De Goey run from contest to contest like a headless chicken with intent, though. A headless chicken with intent and purpose, like Nick Dacos does. Like, that man is a madman running around the ground like someone stole his chicken, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that. I hope Pommy's still not here. JDG, 8 out of 10. JDG, 8 out of 10, man. 8 out of 10,
Yeah,
and could still be better, which is the crazy part.
Exactly. It's some guys just got the fast twitch muscles where it allows them to be very explosive, and some are more slow twitch and lets them have more endurance. And he just is a fast twitch player, and sometimes he's backing up in the capacity isn't always there, and sometimes his mental capacity, I guess, to gut run isn't there, which is quite evident if anyone looks back at the Pies Footies Instagram page, where you can see from the first couple of rounds him walking out of contests is very evident there.
Yeah. All right, Jack Crisp. Let's say, so with Jack Crisp, right? He probably lowered his colours relative to where he's been in the last 8 weeks, where he's been arguably the best player behind Jack Crisp, behind Nick Dacos, and a close runner-up would be Darcy Cameron, of course. He did have two mistakes that resulted in goals. He battled hard, and he applied 9 tackles. He still had 7 clearances. He only had the 17 disposals, so to get 7 clearances from that return is nice. But just given where he's been, and brother, as we say with these ratings, it's relative to the role, relative to the standard we hold him towards. I think Jack Crisp, I can't give him a pass mark. I'm going to give him a 5.5.
Yeah. Look, 7 clearances. I don't know what it was on the weekend. Was it him not playing as much time in the midfield? Like, normally he's accustomed to being in there more like high 80%, whereas on the weekend it was only 74% in there. Still made the most out of it, but disposal efficiency wasn't as good. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of a subpar game, which we've come to respect, because he's been having really, really good performances this year, especially after the Brisbane game. So yeah, 5.5 seems fair.
Yep. What is everyone saying? Sorry. So
Benny Parson, 6. Yeah, Digsby 5.5.
6. Okay, cool. So around the mark. 5.5 from Jimbo. Good old Jimbo. Jim of the Jimbos. Next up, brother.
Let's go Lipper.
Here we go.
Yeah, so Lipper, he's a player that, much like Josh Dacos, sometimes you don't really see them that much getting the ball, or like you're really not noticing them, right? He did have still a decent game, but like from memory, without watching the whole game back, it didn't really seem like he was getting the ball as much as he ended up getting. He ended up finishing the game with 21 disposals, 7 score involvements were actually quite good, and it was really good to see 21 pressure acts. He also got that one goal where he snapped the ball, but ended up kind of ballinging it, and it still went through. So that was good to see. But yeah, champ, I'm paying attention, and like, did you notice him much out there on the weekend?
No, but looking 7 score involvements is nice, I guess. 9 kicks, good efficiency. And I think we've just expected. Sometimes I think we're learning at the same time, brother. These wingers, these high half forward flankers, sometimes they do just play that connector role. And it might be a hand pass here, a sideways kick here and there that end up attributing to these stats. I think for me, but I'm not obviously you're the one giving the rating, and I'm not going to give you a number. But I think when we don't notice them and then we look back in retrospect and say, okay, he's had a decent game. For me, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And for that, I've given him a 6.5 champ. Because at first I was like, yeah, I'll probably give him a 6, a pass mark. But then I look back at the stats, and the stats indicate he had a lot better game than I thought. So I'll give him the benefit of doubt and give him a 6.5 instead of a 6. But yeah, what are your thoughts? You going to rebuttal this or?
No, I was just going to add. He was the second highest rated player for Collingwood that game, behind Jordan De Goey. So there you go. So 6.5 is fine. I think, brother. I think we're gonna see a theme, a recurring theme, where those, like I said, those wingers and those half forward flankers, unless we watch the whole game back, which is not, I guess, feasible at times, we're gonna miss these players sometimes. So it's good to hear from people in the comments to see if they can recall any certain moments. But I think we're around the mark. 6.5, 7 is the trend in the chat. So I think we can live with a 6.5 based off that judgment. All right. So another hot topic over the course of the last few days, and that's Beau McCreary. Guys, I know 20 minutes into that video I released regarding my predicted best 22 for the final series, I was regretting big time what I said about Beau McCreary. But now I'm looking back and I'm kicking myself. I'm really kicking myself. I'm like, I've gone through the permutations. I've considered the players that could be in the team if they play well or play beyond a little bit better than where they're at now, a la a Joe Richards, who he's played well, but he's showed another gear on Saturday. And I'm starting to think again. I'm like, well, no, maybe I want to stick to my guns and continue to die on the hill that we may not see Beau McCreary in the final series. I just think his disposal, he's a mongrel of a kick. I love how he takes the game on. I love his pressure acts. He's had less than 8 disposals 3 times in the last 5 or 6 games where he's played the full game. So he doesn't find the ball despite being thrown into the midfield at times. He doesn't kick goals. That's why I think there is that room that could indicate that we might not see Beau McCreary in a final series, particularly with this injury, but we'll put that to the side for now, particularly with Joe Richards, Lockie Schultz, Bobby Hill, and Jamie Elliott still in the picture. I cannot. Yeah, I think there is a chance there, and I'm willing to die on that hill. And if I'm wrong, so be it. But I'm not going to die trying and die wondering here. So his game in particular, and I'm not rating him just on this game, guys. Like when it comes to that decision. So George is saying you can't rate a player on one shocker. I'm talking about many games, and if you're a forward, you kick goals. Lockie Schultz, we said, he's doing all these defensive acts. He's performing well. He's defending from the front. We still need more goals from him. And we got that, which is great. And that's what you need from a forward. I'm not asking Beau to kick 2 goals a game or a goal and a half, but he's not doing enough, I don't think. So with all that factored in, my friend, obviously the calf injury we have to factor in. I thought early in the game, he took the game on. He found some space in the wing. He had some mongrel kicks going inside 50. He got caught for holding the ball. Limited impact in the game. I'm going to give Beau a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, look, his willingness to attack the ball is all, like, especially with the flight of the ball coming back over the top, it does show great explosive speed. But yeah, a lot of his kicks are just kind of dump kicks into the forward 50 as well at times. And it feels like he's always under pressure. And I do agree in some instances that he does need a lift offensively, alluding back to the greater discussion. I think the only thing that kind of saves him in a spot in the finals is he's shown the ability now against the North Melbourne game to play as a tagger, especially in particular against LDU, which he was killing us. Bo ended up tagging him, and that's kind of his one wood. But you do need a guy, and I've said it to you on stream, off stream. A game of footy is two halves, right? Your attacking ability and your defense ability. If you're giving a rating, his defense and effort is like a 9 out of 10, and his offense it's like a 2-3 out of 10. And we really need that to lift. So look, we'll see how it lands later on in the year where he plays. We'll see if you're right, see if you're wrong. That's the great thing about these things. But a 5 out of a 10, yeah, I'll back that in.
Yeah. And I'm being generous with the 5 out of 10 because he was pulled out of the game with that calf injury. Whereas we got some people here saying 4, 7.5, 3, 3, 2. So, yeah, I think people were torn, but it seems like at least people can agree that he did have a down game on Saturday. Brother, who would you like next? Or do you have anyone else?
I've got double day costs, but give me Josh first.
Okay.
Oh, all right, here we go, champs. So Josh Dacos, 20 disposals, 5 score involvements. And what was really good to see, actually, champs, was he had his second highest game this year, tackle-wise. So he ended up finishing the game with 6 tackles, which is second most this year for him. He ran a little bit lower on the weekend at 65 disposal efficiency. He scored a nice goal, brother to brother. Ended up snapping it, which was, I like that. Don't you reckon? Seeing one day cost link up to another day cost, and his ability to run around and snap. It seems like when they're going for a snapshot, it's no doubt in my mind that it's going through the big sticks. That being said, very similar to the like. It does provide a lot of linking play, and that's where he gets a lot of his touches. I've given him champs a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. He did miss an easy shot on goal from memory as well, though. Do you remember that by any chance?
I think maybe the dimensions get into me, champs.
That's okay. 7 out of 10. So what do we get, Lipinski? 6.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give him a 7. Let's give him a 7. I noticed him a bit more than Patrick Lipinski, but maybe it's because his name finishes in Dacos. But yeah, I'll give him a 7. Give him a 7. All right. So what have I got next? I've got, here we go. DC. Brother, we're gonna sound like NPCs ourselves because every time we talk about this man, we talk about his intercept marks, but it's just the fucking when we get down to the nitty gritty of it, it's what he is. He's an intercepting ruckman, contested marks, and puts his body on the line. He rebounds the ball, not necessarily from D50, but anywhere across the ground in a defensive half. He's looking to get into the right position, work his ruckman over, and get into the drop position of where the ball falls, and has that ability to get the ball rolling going back the other way. So what do you have from a statistical standpoint besides the eye test? He had 3 intercept marks and 10 contested possessions, had some handy clearances. I think he had 4 for the game, but they were decent purchase inside 50s, giving us meters gained and giving our defense a bit of respite and allowing us to push forward. I have Darcy Cameron rated as an 8 out of 10 for this game.
Yeah, and the marks that Darcy Cameron takes, in particular his intercept marks, we talk about Maynard having big balls, but you got to talk about Darcy Cameron because the way he runs back is just like no regard to his body, where he's like, he's just backpedaling. He's not even trying to turn. He's just backpedaling. Big arms come up, take a mark. Like
big,
that.
long arms.
There's some big balls there, man. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10 is good. He did provide a lot for us on the weekend. So yeah, lock it in, Eddie.
Let's go, champ. What everyone else say? 9s and 8s. Wits was good as well. I think Wits got some coaches' votes, brother. So we've got to give Wits his flowers as well. And I was just quickly on Wits. I was surprised he finished the game after fucking Darcy Moore put one through him.
Yeah,
from behind. Pause. Moving on. So who would you like, brother?
Well, we've got the last player for me. That is Nick Dacos.
How do you go, brother?
My God, he's going to be the best player when it's all said and done. He's going to be the best player to play AFL thus far, right? Like, just an absolute man. What I like about Nick Dacos is, yes, he's an elite ball user. Yes, he can win his own ball, get clearances. But what I love about Nick Dacos is his follow-up efforts and his running patterns. Like, he just does not stop, and you cannot question
possessed, bro. He's possessed.
his endurance is next level. Like, it is crazy. So I've got a couple examples here, right, of him never giving up. Right, he kicks the ball into the man on the mark. He then chases down the ball. I believe this is in the third quarter. Chases down the ball, intercepts it, gets it back, handballs it to Harvey Harrison. Harvey Harrison then handballs it to Bobby Hill, results in a goal. All right. Then you skip to the fourth quarter, arguably kicks goal of the year. He gets the ball about midway in the middle, has a shit kick, doesn't let him deter himself. He then stays involved with the play, gets the ball back, kicks it to Bobby Hill, then gets the ball back off Bobby Hill, runs, sends one of the Gold Coast players to fucking Mars, right? Steadies himself, slots a goal.
Sends
Fucking unreal.
Surfer's paradise, mate.
Yeah, exactly, right? He also, if you want to talk about some stats very quick, 32 disposals, right? 11 of those contested. Finished the game with 5 clearances, had 2 goals, 2 goal assists, and 9 score involvements for the game. I was talking to one of our classmates, and like a Collingwood side without Nick Dacos at the moment, we would look completely different without him. But without that, I've given him champ on the weekend, probably the highest. It would have to be the highest on the ground. I've given him a 9.1 out of 10. The silence is deafening.
What was that, brother?
9.1.
Where does he get the extra 0.9 from? What's it going to take for him to get the extra 0.9?
Champ, you have to like a 9.1 is bad. I think, it is a team game at the end of the day, and a win probably finds you that little bit of extra points, right? Yeah, that's where I see it. 9.1.
9.4. Brother, he put it on his shoulders in the last quarter. He put it on his shoulders. Brother, he took his balls out of his jocks and put them in front of his shorts and let everyone see them for the entirety of that fourth quarter. He said, "Here, have a look at them. These big Macedonian fucking marbles."
I'm surprised you don't try and claim him as Greek champ, as you Greek cunts do. But champ, lock him in as a 9.4. He had a stellar game, so can't complain. We'll boost it up because of that goal of the year goal.
Yeah. I think guys, I don't know about you in the chat. I think that should be goal of the year. I don't quite recall all the nominees for their goal of the year thus far this year, but I think the fact that he had that slider kick, which was a little bit off, but it was good enough. He gets it back, kicks it to Bobby Hill, and was perfect, really. Like, Bobby Hill should have swallowed that. Bobby Hill fucks it up and drops it. Nick Dacos fixes Bobby Hill's fuck up. And then he, like I said, sends that guy to fucking Surfer's paradise and then puts it through the 2 big sticks. And I climax next to Caleb Gumi Vatia during the watch along, and I have to go clean myself up after the game. Anyhow, so I'll live with a 9.4.
All right, let's go, champ.
All right, we're down to last couple. Then we'll get guys stick around for the People's Champ because we've got to do the votes. I put a poll up, but I think I got 10, 11 comments, which is okay. But We got 42 in the chat right now. I want everybody to get involved in the People's Champ voting system. So I have Oleg Markov. So let me get him up. Mr. Markov. I'll tell you what, brother. I think I'm over Leggy. I'm over him at this point. I'm kind of over him. 9 touches, 2 kicks, 7 hand passes as a halfback flanker, looking to partner up with John Noble. Brother, get in TJ or get in Harry DiMattia or put Jack Crisp on the halfback flank. Change it up, because what we've got on the halfback line right now is not going to rival Nick Blakey. It's not going to rival Nick Newman and who else comes off the halfback flank for Carlton. Doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying. Who else is up there, brother? We got Essendon. They've got Jordan Ridley and Nick Martin. Like, we just don't have what we need to really put ourselves forth into a serious adventure into the final series. So I'm really just going to leave that with Markov. I think we know what we get with him, and it's not enough right now. He's clearly down from last year. 2 out of 10. Dropped. Probably, I wouldn't. I know I sound like a prick, but like we're talking grand finals. Yeah, that's the expectation.
Yeah,
2 out of 10. I'd be happy not to see him again in the AFL side this year.
Yeah, look, champ, I reckon you see him on it against Essendon with Noble coming out of the side. You probably see Harry DiMattia hopefully get his first AFL debut on Friday. But I reckon they probably won't change both halfbackers, unfortunately. TJ, when he was in, only gave us the 5 disposals, 2 intercept marks, however. But, champ, maybe dropping him for a week puts a fire under his ass and maybe performs. But look, we'll see. Time will tell. We'll leave that in for the review tomorrow and later on in the week. So, 2 out of 10 didn't really give us too much on the weekend. And there's so much we can back him. And we've been quite lenient with Markov to this point. So, lock him in 2 out of 10.
Yep. Hey, that's going to be another good. I like. We're actually getting some subjects for tomorrow's show, and so we're talking about Darcy Moore tomorrow. We're talking about the halfback flank dilemma that we have now, and we have a bunch of other topics that we can talk about. So, and Chris says more needs to sharpen up for Peter Wright and Langford, and that's very true, very true. And Benny Parsons, I'll bring it up. He said is Oleg in the Yarra River with Billy Frampton. You can bet your ass he fucking is.
I like that one.
Brother, I gave you Hoskin Elliott. You want to finish on that one,
brother?
Oh,
yeah, Hyphen, yeah. So, look, Hyphen at the end of the game, he got the 1 goal assist. His 1 goal was just a little give me over the top, Bobby. He was like, I just had this at the goal square. Kick back, just slots one through. Besides that, champ, he wasn't really seen all too much for the whole game. So with that in mind, only the 1 goal, champ, I've just given him a pass mark, just a 6 out of 10.
Yep, totally fair. All right, guys, let's move in to the People's Champ. So as of post North Melbourne, this is where it stands. So we have Jack Crisp leading the tally with 10 votes, Nick Dacos with 9, Bobby Hill with 5, Darcy with 5, Bruzzy with 4. So we had the bye in round 15. Round 16, obviously, we have Gold Coast. So, guys, for those who haven't been here before, we're going to start with, I want your 5 votes for the best player on the ground. So the best player for Collingwood, you give them 5 votes. And then once we've settled the debate on who gets the 5, which we already know who that's going to be, hopefully, then we'll move to the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1. And then I'll tally it up and then you'll see the update next week. So let's go, guys. Who gets the full 5 votes for the game against North? Brother, who's your 5 votes?
I think it was quite obvious with Nick Dacos getting the highest score of the round for us in the pie performance. So Whisper would have to go, hit that number 5 votes. And then we'll see. Look, the pecking order from 4-3-2-1, they'll be interesting. I reckon
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot of room of discussion in here, and we're gonna have to get the notepad out and start marking it up. So
Yeah. Look at this, brother. Brother, look at this. This is unanimous if I've ever seen it. Brother, it's Nick Dacos, the Macedonian marvel with big, big marbles. Just saying, brother.
just saying, you keep mentioning his marbles, champ.
Hey, call it what you will, man. All right, guys, moving on to 4 votes. Who gets the 4-vote allotment? Brother, who's your 4 votes? Without looking at the ratings, if you've jotted them. I've jotted them down. I won't look at mine.
I don't know what we've rated it, like what our highest is, but Darcy Moore. Nah, chance. I don't know. I reckon I really liked Joe Richards, even though he didn't play the full game. Probably actually DeGoey. Probably DeGoey. What am I on about?
Okay, brother, can you read these out to me? Count them out.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start from the start. We got DeGoey. We got 3 DeGoeys, 4
Yep.
DeGoeys,
Yep.
2 Darcy Camerons thus far.
5. Wait, hold on. There's more.
Wait, sorry. There's let me start. 1, 2, 3.
It looks like it's going to be JDG, isn't it?
Yeah. There we go. Go to Goey. He's already locked
James
in.
VB comes out with the Bobby Hill. He could have had a 4. He could have had a 4 if he kicked a couple more.
Yeah.
Couple more guys, just to solidify DeGoey's claim to the 4. Give me one more, guys. Come on, pencil it in.
Okay, well, DeGoey's on 8 votes and Cameron's on 1, 2 votes. So
All right, we'll give it to JDG.
You know,
All right, so JDG gets the 4. Number 3, who gets the 3 votes for the game against Gold Coast? So we've got Nick Dacos and Jordan DeGoey thus far, who will reserve 5 and 4.
Yeah. So you obviously, guys, can't vote for someone who's already been marked, so you can't give it to DeGoey or Nick Dacos, but you can vote for any other players out there. So
some left field ones here.
Yeah, we got some Josh Lipper, 2 for Darcy Cameron, 3 for Darcy Cameron, 4 for Darcy Cameron. I reckon Cameron was good. Cameron was good. For I don't know why Kukul's gone Hill with 2. What?
Maybe he meant to press 3. Hill Frank in front of goals. Oh, I think he's a little bit behind in the stream, maybe. So Rupert got Quainer. Josh. Theon's gone bang.
Theon from Japan.
Theon, you've been in the Pie Performance show before. Yes. Boomer from Black Rod says, don't forget to like the stream, guys. That would mean a lot. If you do enjoy the show, feedback is important. And the best type of feedback is either leaving a comment post-game, but also liking the video.
Yeah, so we are socially asking that as well.
Yeah. It's a bit sleazy sometimes, but I guess it's a necessary evil if you want to call that. DC, yeah? So DC gets the 3?
Yeah, DC.
All right. 2 votes, guys. Who gets the 2 votes? So we got 5 for Dacos, 4 for JDG, and 3 for DC.
Who you going, champ?
God, I'd be close to giving Bobby Hill 2. I'd be close to giving Bobby Hill 2. I'd be close to giving Jeremy Howe 2.
All right, so we got Josh,
Joe Richards 2.
Josh Dacos with 1, Bruzzy with 1, Bobby Hill with 2.
Oh, we forgot about Bruzzy. Fuck.
Bobby Hill with 2. Josh Dacos now with 2 votes. The Bruz gets another vote and now sits on 2. 3 for the Bruz now. Digsby's given the birthday boy a vote in Howe. Hill's now pushed into 3 votes. The Bruz has gone into 4 votes, champ. Another vote for him.
Yep. Who would you vote, brother? It'd be the Bruz, wouldn't it?
It has to be. The man gives us everything. And his willingness to slice open the game, if you weren't here early enough, is why was a big part of why we saw him with 500 plus meters gained and our willingness to then attack and score from that third quarter, halfway through the third quarter, especially into the fourth quarter. And it helps play a pivotal role in that beautiful Pendle's goal as well.
Yep. Okay, so Brazzy gets the 2. Well deserved. Well deserved. Much needed. Who gets the 1 vote, guys? Who gets the 1 vote? So I'm sure Lipinski, Howie, Dacos, Bobby, they'll be all part of the conversation here for the 1 vote.
Yeah.
Richards as well could be a part of it.
Yeah. Richards 1, Josh 1, Howe 1. Josh Dacos with 2 votes.
Yep.
Richards with 2 votes. Lipper with 1 vote. Howe with another vote, which is 2. Bobby Hill with 1 vote.
God. Side bottom, great effort. Josh and Brazzy a bit stiff.
Digsby with
disagree with you on that one,
Cole.
Digsby. Jesus Christ.
Nah.
Fucking hell.
I saw I think it was Digsby, was it, in the Blue Abroad channel just before?
Yeah, Digsby loves watching a bit of Blue Abroad as well.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. There's a few people that like follow Collingwood that will jump over to the Blue Abroad stream as well. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see, of course, but it's just like an interesting observation.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, it's really close, brother, isn't it? I'm seeing 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a couple more votes. Who did you ask? Who have I got, brother?
Yeah. Who did you get?
I'm gonna go Bobby Hill. So I'm gonna add Bobby Hill. My vote to Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
Who have you got?
And I'm going with Richards.
JR. Okay, so just to clarify, JR's got 3, Dacos got 2, Howe got 2, Lipinski 1, Bobby Hill 2. And I reckon we'll give Joe Richards his flowers. The Traders. Benny Parsons, I could never do that. Rupert, Traders. JR.
JR from WWE.
Yeah, I was thinking that, brother. I was thinking that before when I was saying JR before. I don't know. I think I was saying it earlier in the show. I was going to bring up the WWE reference, but Chris has done it.
Yeah, JR the King.
Oh, so Chris gives JR a vote as well. Then obviously, so that's 4. So JR gets the 1. All right. So guys, we've decided because we're a democracy here. Nick Dacos gets the 5. JDG gets the 4. DC gets the 3. Brayden Maynard gets the 2. Joe Richards gets the 1. And brother, I get the mushroom stroganoff for dinner. What do you get?
What?
I'm having mushroom stroganoff for dinner, brother. What are you having? I just want to know.
I've already had dinner, champ.
Oh, well, that's boring.
It's 8:30, champ. Oh, you're gonna eat early, man.
You're gonna go to that's it. You're gonna have some chocolate or tea or
I just had a tea. I'll kick back. That's about it for the day. I don't know, champ. Do you reckon we do this? I'm just saying we've still got 40 viewers on right now.
Yeah.
Do we need to push this back half an hour?
I was thinking I was going to have that conversation with you to start earlier because people start to roll in a lot more after the 45-minute mark. And it seems a bit premature to end it when there's still this many people in the chat. We'll probably have to think about another segment to add. Guys, actually, while you're here, is there something we can add into this show that you guys would like to? And we don't want to take away from the Pies Footy show because that's obviously going to reserve another day. But is there something we can add? I mean, we could aerate a little bit more about the players and make sure we're hitting a sort of minute threshold when we're talking about them, or we can have. I think, brother, what's happening right now when we do the ratings is once we've said our bit, we sort of just go, yep, cool. And maybe some players will talk a little bit longer about. Maybe we can bounce off each other a little bit more to extend out the conversation. But if anybody has any other ideas, that'd be cool.
Yeah, either 7 o'clock you're still cooking dinner. Do you need us to start half an hour later? That's what that would probably be my inkling.
I was thinking earlier, brother, like a 6:30 or something, or even a 6. But
people are getting home. Not, yeah. We'll have it off stream, but let us know. Let us know.
Role player of the night. We could probably give Fly McRae a rating, brother. Let's do that now. What do you give Fly McRae? His rating based on his selection, based on his decisions in the game, and I'm not sure if you listen to his post-game presser, but let's base him up on that.
Yeah, look, I actually been slack today. I normally listen to it at work, the presser, but I actually didn't get a chance today. I was a little bit swamped. But I would give him a subpar performance just with some of the selections in there. Sully probably doesn't need to be picked and Reef to be in there. So look, I've given him Reef, not Reef, fucking Fly. I'll give him a 5 out of 10 for the game. I do, however, I do believe after halftime though, he must have had a chat and we did play a little bit more attacking. So yeah.
Have a whipping boy list. Would be interesting to see how players get out of it, like Shooter from early in season. What does that mean, brother? Am I misreading that? Have a whipping boy list.
Maybe like a fraud, not a fraud list, but like
Or
a player that are on watch, you know?
Yeah, could do that. Could extend the comp.
We were talking about shorts need to be 5, maybe on the whip list, or we're going to be careful on what type of players we put on the whipping boy list. We might be cancelled, but we'll call it the fraud watch or something. And we could even put a Darcy Moore on there. You could put a Bow for his offensive ability, and maybe some of those to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. So, and Jimbo says flash some stats up each player. This one is a difficult one right now, given it takes it would add a lot more workload to what it already is when it comes to all the shows we do, the podcast, the show, the previews, reviews, the documentaries. So maybe in the future, not right now, but just for me, brother, for mine with Fly. So he made 6 changes, right? And he said, to hell with it. We're going to put our best players in if they're available now. I disagree with that because it's just too many changes. It's far too many changes, and we were compensating when it came to our two-way running against Gold Coast. It was so clear. We also, I was disappointed to see Reef wasn't in the team. I was really disappointed with that. I was disappointed to see Joe Richards as a sub. I was disappointed to see Lockie Sullivan in the forward line. Fly didn't do him any favors. Yeah, he didn't have a good game, but didn't do him any favors playing him out of position. He's an inside mid, as you pointed to earlier in this show. In his post-game presser, I liked that he was finally able to concede that these slow starts and come from behind wins is not going to cut the mustard anymore. He's not going to accept that. Basically, that's what he said. Call it innuendo or whatever you want, but I thought that was comforting to hear from Fly, to look at the game from a glass half empty sort of perspective rather than a glass half full, because he's quite cheerful and optimistic and Ted Lasso like. But I think sometimes you have to call a spade and admit that our mentality isn't right. So with all that, brother, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. And we'll get the ratings right with Fly. We'll get the relativity right. But for now, I think a 4 out of 10. What that means, I don't know. It's the first time we're rating him.
Yep, and we'll get a photo of him and we'll flick him up there as well.
The big man. What else have we got here? So Rupert says players on notice list. Yeah, so we'll do a fraud watch. We'll put a couple players on notice. How we do that, we'll figure that out. Analyze set plays, man. Brother, I have to say, with footy, a lot of it is just chaos. Like with soccer, it's much easier to draw up the pictures and go, all right, because soccer, it's like there's a lot of chess moves in and there's a lot of set plays. There's corners, there's free kicks, there's all that, right? Footy, it is a lot of chaos, brother. Like there's set positions, but once the ball is in motion, man, it's really just like to hell with it. Like that's always.
Yeah, I back that. There's always method to the madness as well. The way you set up, the way you pressure, the way that I alluded to in the live stream was, if you're going to go long down the line and get stuck there, if you're on the fat side of the ground, you can still drag a defender out by painting the boundaries, heading
Explain
one.
what the fat side is to people who might
So,
not understand that reference.
yeah, the fat side is essentially, if I am on the left side of the ground and I'm about 50 meters out, then the skinny side would be the side I'm on, would be that left side of the ground. And the fat side is where all the space is. So where your switch kicks go and everything, that is all the fat side. So by painting the boundaries, right, by looking at a potential switch, if they don't follow you, then you can switch the ball out there, right? If they do follow you and they're zoning and you pull someone across, that means there is now a hole in the center of the ground, which we needed to dare and look for those 45 kicks in. So that's how you can open your game up. So that's one thing. If they drag your one player out to the far side to cover that switch kick, and then they drag another player into the middle, then you're going to have less people long down the line. So then you can always do that long down the line kick is going to be less contested. So there's always a method to the madness in a game of footy. And that's what we really saw in that second and third quarter, champ, where we just got stuck going long down the line and we weren't spreading enough. So something to note, we'll probably talk about that a little bit more tomorrow on the analysis as well. So come in tomorrow, analysis. First time we're doing that. Probably the only time I'm going to feature on it with the footy season, my footy season going on. But then we've also got the, what else we got? We got the moving the magnets on Thursday, champ, that you'll be doing. I've got my lovely mum's birthday, so I won't be attending that.
Birthday, Michelle.
But then we've also got, the pre-game show on Friday. We'll smash Juzzy's boys. I smash your boy Essendon. And then we'll do the watch along. And then we'll have a 20-minute break, depending on how we're feeling. And then come back and do the post-game show.
Yeah, spot on. Juzzy, your boys are in trouble this Friday night. Gonna smash your boy. Smash your boy. Watch out, Stringer. Happy birthday, Mum, says Jimbo. Good man, Jimbo. Good man. Michelle, she's awesome. Makes a good tuna and fucking cheese sandwich, brother, I gotta say.
Yeah. She's watching the stream right now.
Hey, Juzzy, you might not be wrong with this one. Your backline's going to be cooked. Not looking forward to it, but we'll talk more about it in tomorrow's show, guys. Thanks for sticking around. This one has been a really good one, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 5 p.m.